Apple Bites, this is your Apple Bite, written Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, Apple Bites. And of course, our guest today is Onrie. And of course, on the bottom, you have Mr. Nat and Mr. Jordan. Oh, Henri's on fire. Look at
that. I'm doing that now. That's my whole thing.
that.
I got a lighter here and I got like fidgety hands, so I gotta
Hey, that's why I don't keep anything near me while I'm on set.
If I set my house on fire and during this, at least you guys get to see me like burned alive. That'll get you more views.
I don't think I want those views.
Yeah, but
I appreciate that.
But then my pledge won't be fulfilled.
Oh! See, look, Jordan hit the nail on the head.
He's thinking like a businessman. That's good.
I learned it from you.
Yes, there you go.
So, Henri, you just came from hanging out with Rich Davis and having a little party over there.
Well, I was after Rich, so I was listening to Rich talk, which was great. He's Rich is one hardworking guy, and
yeah, we love him here. Yeah,
he's awesome. He's always up to something, and huge inspiration to me.
Totally is, and his books are just amazing. I got a chance to read Chains of, what is it?
Prometheus and Chains.
There you go. I keep calling it something else. He goes, Ralph, why didn't you tell me that name before? That would have been a great name for the book.
I have my graded copy coming sometime. Woo.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's a great book. I love what he did with the Frankenstein story.
I think the title is the best part about it.
Yeah.
Like rather than just say like this is Rich Davis's Dracula, this is taking something and rebranding it. I think that's really cool, and Rich is really good about that, and
totally.
He's really good at building up his name and everything. Real big inspiration.
He totally is. Prometheus is fantastic. If you guys haven't gone to go save it at your local comic store, I think it's almost out. I think it's a couple of days before it comes out. Yeah.
Yeah. The week of June 14th. So
you guys are running out of time.
Right? It's this week, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I have all the knowledge of anything those guys in my head. So.
Yeah, Jordan, you're all over it, man. You're
exactly.
Awesome. Really appreciate how much you support independent comics here.
Oh yeah.
Henri, it's funny. It's such a small world because I feel like we brought Jordan in. He knew you, and we've known you for like ages now.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I have to say it takes a village,
Yeah.
And I definitely think that this arena is becoming a lot bigger, especially with the whole sense of like what we see today with the new hashtag of comics broke me. I saw a post by Billy Tucci earlier that was like really inspiring to me, and it's
I saw that one.
Yeah, and I think it really resonates. It's like I made that decision myself. Like I don't want to work for big companies. Fuck them. I want to work for myself. If they want to pay me to do something for them, like, hey, we want you to write an issue of Spider-Man, like, sure, but I'm not going to put everything on the line for them. I'm not going to put, like all my intellectual properties because they're going to take it and do what they do. And I don't think they treat creators fairly at all. I don't think it was never built that way from the beginning. Like if you look at Joe Shuster and Joel Siegel, the guys who created Superman, those guys were the original, two pair that got screwed. And if we learned anything from the creator of Batman, Bill Finger, she's like, you got to really stand up for yourself. Otherwise, the guy who's got better business sense, Bob Kane, is going to come in and claim he did everything. And I know so many funny Bob Kane stories. It's not even funny.
It's amazing in the industry. It's been like that for a long time. And even when it was like related to the creators, they were still getting shysted. So, because in the 80s and 90s, it was all about the creators, but they were still getting shysted. They weren't getting their due,
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then Marvel and DC decided, well, we don't want the creators to get all that credit anymore because it's not about them, it's about us.
Yeah, absolutely. They truly, and here's the thing: I'm a big supporter of Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
Because I'm a reseller. I resell their stuff, and I get inspired by their stuff. I would be lying if I said I'm not a fan of Marvel and and DC. I want these movies to come out. I want them to be successful. But I definitely think that the creators who did this stuff deserve a lot more than what they're given, because if they didn't give them that, then they wouldn't be where they are.
True. And that was the thing with everybody. Everybody always wanted to do something for Marvel and DC. As I grew up and as I changed things around, I was like, if they call me in for something, no problem. But I don't feel like working for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Like yeah,
it's understandable.
Yeah, I'd rather just do my own thing.
Absolutely, and it takes a while. Like that's the thing. I totally understand the struggle behind it. It's even with this Kickstarter, for Warline, there's some days that are going to be really, and I was just saying this on Jen King's show a couple hours ago. Like Kickstarter it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
You're not running a race. It's not a race to see how quickly you can get funded. It's a marathon to see how many people can you get excited about what you're doing. And the more people, the better you get at making people excited by coming up with those new asks and coming up with those new ways to get people excited about what you're going through, the quicker you're going to grow. But it's a slow burn. And honestly, this is my third or fourth project on Kickstarter. For the first decade that I was working in comics, I was solely just doing cons. And when I did my first couple Kickstarters, I had a lot to learn. I fucked up the first couple times, and in the sense that I didn't have my project ready when I hit that launch button. So people were waiting a year and a half before they actually got their stuff, and that sucked. But after making those mistakes, I kind of went back and reevaluated, and I actually took a course for anybody who's interested in hearing about it, comics launch. And it really changed my entire philosophy about how I go about approaching people to be a part of Kickstarters. And not only that, working in live sales has also gotten me out into the digital world in a different way. So,
here's a question for you, because we know that you built yourself up, and you were doing self-publishing this whole time. What's the difference between doing the self-publishing and using the Kickstarter to do it?
It's interesting. It's another vehicle when you really think about it. And honestly, that's something I've learned in comics. If you want to work in comics full time, it's not impossible. Anybody can do this.
Right.
The thing is you have to be able to diversify as much as humanly possible. So when I initially started out, it's I want to be a comic book writer. Everybody wants to be a comic book writer. It's an extremely competitive area. So I learned pretty quickly that unless you have the connections to get in, if you have an agent, which is really hard to get, and unless you have a really impressive portfolio, companies like Marvel are not going to want anything to do with you.
Right.
You really want them to come to you. So you have to create your own portfolio. So once I started tackling the projects that I wanted to do, I realized that the real passion in it was marketing and sales. I love getting conventions. I don't do conventions because I have to do conventions. I do conventions because I love doing them. Kickstarter.
We've seen that. Every time we see you at a convention, you can tell. That's when you shine. That's when you sell. And I always love that. Ralph, you should see how much I sold today.
Well, there's some days that are great, and some days that are it was just another day. But for me, it's not about how much I sell. It's about the excitement of working off of people's energy.
Yep.
How many people did I convert today who didn't expect to buy anything? Like Chuck Pino, my editor on Warline, and Easton Chin, we were having a conversation a couple weekends ago in Houston, and he said to me that his advice to beginners is, no one comes to a convention for you. Your job is to make them regret that. And it's the thing that you want to be the thing that they're least expecting. And that's always been my approach to doing cons is guerrilla tactics. I'm the guy who you're not expecting to see or buy anything from.
Dude, and I've seen you pull people into your booth. I've seen you and we've seen you in action where, I've actually helped you out a couple times. And you just get those people in, and it's amazing to watch.
I appreciate that. I hear it so often. It really means a lot. But honestly, it's not just me pulling people in. I really feel like if it wasn't for the work of the creators that the artists that I employ to do this work, I don't think I would be as successful. And that's the most important thing, is it's the work that counts. And when you're working with bigger companies, and I have worked with them in some capacities, it's you don't get to do what you want. Like, don't think that if you ever want to be a writer at Marvel or DC, I keep saying Marvel, it's because I clearly am hung up and want to write Spider-Man. But aside from that, like, if you get to work with these companies, it's not like you get to come in and they say, "Oh, all right, brilliant guy, what's your story idea?" It doesn't work like that. They tell you what you're writing.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there and you got to work really fast on a really tight deadline to make something happen. And you're not going to do your best work all the time. Sometimes you're going to really fall flat on your feet, but you're going to learn a lot quicker.
Right.
And you're going to get better because you're turning out work at such a fast capacity. I think what's really worked for me is the fact that I don't rush my work out. Yisun Shen has been in production for like 13 years now, and we've only got 10 issues out, but we take our time with it.
Right.
Warline's moving at a much faster pace, but I also think that has a lot to do with the artists that I've been working with, Dexter Wee. Like, we just really riff off each other really well, and we really enjoy working on the book and doing stuff with the character. It's completely different dynamic, and I'm really looking forward to bringing him on, Yisun Shen, to finish off the series. I think he's going to really bring it home for us.
You can tell, though, you can feel that with especially with that book, that you can feel the passion. You can feel how much you guys have poured into it, how you're taking your time, how it's beautiful. The art's amazing. The story's great.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. That means
So let's sell your new book. Come on, Warline.
I actually have copies. I have copies of it, and not only do I have copies of it, these are more like the rare copies that are up on the Kickstarter right now.
Ooh.
And technically, some of these books are sold, but I'm just going to show it to you guys anyway. So, we actually still have plenty of these. So, initially, when I decided to put this out for the first couple conventions, Jim Salicrup, who's a very good friend of mine, he was like, "You should have this like flap on the cover for this limited edition." So this is one edition of Warline. It's actually double signed by myself and Chuck Pino, the editor. And Warline is basically a martial arts dystopian epic, and it's about an old warrior passing on his legacy to his daughter. And it's kind of a combination of like Blade, Demolition Man, and Logan all rolled into one. And it's a tribute to my stillborn child. And it's something that took me a long time to put together. This is really my COVID machination. And it's a 3-issue series. Each issue of Warline is 48 pages of straight story. And I'm real excited about this. And we got our cover A being printed right now. So that's what we went to Kickstarter to fund is our cover A offset.
I was wondering how that was working, because I had seen like you show off this book before. That's why when I was like going to Kickstarter, I'm like, I wonder what they're up to.
Yeah, well, it's for the offset, because honestly, the problem with this book is my cost per unit on this is like super high. So they have to charge
quality there.
The quality is great, but the quality on the offset print is equal. Just the fact that we're getting it printed in China and we're getting it at such a different rate that I can actually start to sell this book at a reasonable price point. So that's really what we're going. That's what we're going for with our offset print. But we also have like variant covers and everything, and we're working with one of the artists who you're bringing on as a guest tonight. He did a cover for us as well, and it's doing really well on our campaign. And
It's a beautiful cover he did too.
oh man, he totally killed it, and I can't wait for him to come on and talk about it. But we work with Stan Yak as well. Stan has done stuff for Ninja Turtles. Just is all over the board. He's just a really phenomenal artist. I love Stan Yak's work. And we're 99 backers now. Wow, one backer away from hitting 100. This is amazing.
Come on, folks. We got one away from 100. Come, let's do it now. Come on.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. And it's an easy jump in too. One thing I wanted to do to entice everybody is anybody who backs at any pledge level on this campaign is getting a digital copy of Warline. So if you just give me $10 for this campaign, you get a digital copy of Warline 1, and you also get Eastern Shen Warrior and Defender #1. That's my other series. But if you go in at $15, you get a physical copy of the book signed by me, delivered to your door. For all domestic orders, it's free shipping. And we got 24 days to go. I can't believe how well this campaign has been going. This first week, we're at like 45% funded now.
Yeah.
Reaching towards 50%. And we actually have some original art for sale too from Dexter Wee. And the pages we have up there are insane.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, that's the cover image for the for the exclusive we did. So the thing about these exclusives too is the cost per unit's higher, therefore the print run is much smaller. So we only did like 100 of these.
Wow.
We're not doing more than that. I'm not reprinting this book either. This is done. We've released it like this, and that's it. And that's some of the interior art in the book. And we took our time. Like all the martial arts fighting sequences are all choreographed. I referenced a lot of stuff. I brought in a lot of my own personal experiences practicing martial arts. And took the things that I liked from movies and kind of like amalgamated it together, you know. And yeah, like I said, anybody who backs at any level gets a digital copy of the book. You can also read the first 12 pages online for free.
Nice.
You can follow a link that's embedded on the campaign page. That's our cover A. So this is what we're financing right now. And these books are headed to the U.S. as of Wednesday. They're going to be getting on a boat. So it'll take about 4 weeks for them to cross the pond. And then after that, it's a couple weeks. And so fulfillment on this campaign is going to be really, really fast because we have everything ready. It's good to go.
So pretty much what you're doing is you're pre-ordering. You're not really it's more like a pre-order than it is a Kickstarter type of thing because usually you have to wait a while. Yep. It's like boom, bam, you got it.
I already paid the print bill before I hit the launch button, but I want to be able to cover as much of those costs as I can because I have to keep the business operating. I have to be able to keep things going so that I can do the same thing when we get to issue 2. And I'm telling you right now, if you like issue 1 of Warline, issue 2 is going to rock your socks off. Everything that's the issue with the big twist because that's like the middle of our arc. And after that, it's issue 3, and that first arc is wrapped up. And this is the Criss Mad variant here. Criss is going to be coming on. I think we should let him talk more about it.
It's beautiful. He did a
great absolutely job
with this. Yeah.
And I want to tell you just how little involvement I had with it. We had a couple conversations. This was him taking the bull by the horn and really just doing this. It was such a treat to work with him, and I can't wait to work with him again on the issue 2 cover. And one thing I wanted to do with Warline is have thematic covers. So the artists that we bring on for the variant covers for this issue, we want to have them on for the next for issue 2 and issue 3.
Dude, I can see it. You know, his art has always been beautiful. He does great work.
He does. I just picked up No Heroine the other day from Jen King, and I'm really looking forward to going in and studying his sequential work. He's phenomenal. Some of the stuff I've seen him pop out over the last month. Like, did you guys see his Green Goblin? Green Goblin was insane. Yeah. So good. Dude is so talented. I freaking love him.
Yeah. I'm always I'm amazed at what he puts up. I'm always happy to see him at the conventions. Oh, he's a great guy.
He's a good guy, yeah. And hanging out with him at conventions is awesome too. Like he's a lot of fun. He's such a good cat. Love that guy.
Let's see. Here's the other cover.
That's our Kanan White cover. So this was actually colored by Yisun Shin's colorist. And we're going to see her do more stuff for us very soon. So this cover here was done by Kanan White. And Kanan came to my attention through Ted Sakura, who told me, he's like, you need to hire Kanan. He's like, you need to have this guy do a cover for you.
I can see why.
Oh, totally. And here was another situation where the creator, the artist, took the bull by the horns. I gave him we had maybe 1 or 2 conversations over Facebook, some conceptual ideas, and he just ran with it and he gave me this. And I'm just so pleased with the finished product. I mean, it looks real. It stays true to the themes of the first issue, and each cover is going to be thematic as we go through the next issue. So you're not going to just see a repeat of all these brawling type of covers. This is just kind of what we set in place for that first issue.
Right. This is just beautiful, man. Look at this.
Oh, thank you, man.
And this cover just stands out, man.
Yeah, this was colored by Robert Nugent, who Stan Yak actually highly recommends. And I'll tell you guys, Stan Yak was a runner-up for being the sequential artist on Warline. I decided to go with Dexter, and it had nothing to do with talent or anything like that. It was just a decision on based on how we were working together, like how sympathetic. Oh gosh. So the word I'm looking for is symphony, like how it was just the right sound, it was the right feel. But I loved Stan's work, and he also did. I should show you guys some of the conceptual work he did for Warline. He had a real big part in helping me figure out the design of the character, so it only made sense to bring him on for a variant cover, and he did a really phenomenal job.
He did, yeah.
I love his work on Broken Gargoyles. He just does some really solid stuff, and he's going to come back, and we're gonna have him back for issue 2, and we're going to do something really complex and fun. And I'm really looking forward to working with him again. Absolutely fantastic guy.
Just amazing, man. Your covers are really amazing. I think you did a great job, as I show them all here, and picking 4 covers that we're going to show this off, and at the same time, make people want to get them.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we had an early bird where you could get all 4 covers for $50. I actually decided to extend that throughout the rest of the campaign. So, because I just want to get this out there, and I want to get this funded. So anybody who wants to jump on and get all 4 of these covers, and they're all versions. I don't put any, whenever I do variants, I don't put any copy on the variant covers, just because out of respect to the artists who worked on it, I just want you to be able to appreciate their art. And the issue numbers, all that information in the credits go on the back of the book.
I was wondering how you were doing that.
Yeah, and we're also numbering each book too. So if you want to get all 4 variants, it's just $50. You can do it. We had it available.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, we would normally charge $20 per variant plus $10 for the regular cover A.
Right.
So it'd be $70, but I'll do it for $50, and again, free shipping for all US based orders. And then this is the C2E2 flap cover. That one's really beautiful. I love that. It's this book right here. So we've got plenty of these up here, and these turn out great too. They'll come bagged and boarded, and they're double signed. Only 14 copies left out of 100.
I feel like a lot of people don't do this type of cover anymore.
It's expensive. It's a pricey book, to get it done, and it took a lot of work. I mean, the first batch of these books, which I had done for Emerald City, were not printed right. I actually had to go back, and, talk to my printer, and that raised the print costs of that book.
Wow.
So it was something very special for the occasion.
It looks good. I can see it as a collector's item, especially because this is us showing it off.
Right. And that's something that like we're banking on heavily is like that collector's market. But you can also score a Warline T-shirt. I got
Nice.
a bunch of these.
Love T-shirt. This looks good.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sometimes people don't think about how the T-shirt's gonna be. So they don't put any brain or power into it, and they just make a T-shirt, and you're like, okay, you didn't really think about this, did you? But it looks like you actually thought about this.
Well, thank you. That means a lot to me. Coming from you, man. I appreciate you saying that, and I've been wearing this shirt a lot, and going to conventions and doing everything. So it really means a lot to me.
Yeah, especially because the way people make T-shirts now, they don't last long. They fall apart. They fade. It's I don't think it's the art that it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. And those are our CGCs. So right before C2E2, we put out this cover. So this was supposed to be our C2E2 exclusive. And then I got contacted by Frank Guzan, who's an Israeli-based artist. And he says, Onrie, I want to do a cover for you. And I'm like, all right, well, I can't hire you, dude. I don't have money, man. I'm sorry. And he was like, but I want to do a cover for you. And I'm like, I understand. I can't make it work financially. Like, I'm in real tight right now, and I'm just trying to get the book done. I got to pay a lot of people. I'm sorry. He goes, all right, man, I'll do it for free. You just cover the print costs and give me a set amount of copies. I was like, I'll give you 50% of whatever I print.
Nice.
Like, all right, cool.
Good deal.
So we did a run of 70 copies of a full color version of his cover, and we sold the majority of them. I have like 14 of them left, and then I submitted 5 of them to CGC. We got them back. They're triple signed. They're graded at a 9.0 or more.
Wow.
And I think we have like 3 of them left. They're going for $100, so you're guaranteed to get a 9.0 or above on it. And then we did a black, white, and red variant.
That's not the way the market is.
What's up? What was that?
I think I got thrown off for a minute. I was saying, I can imagine they look great.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, and then he wanted to do a black, white, and red variant. So we did that, and we did an even more limited print run, and there was only 30 of those printed up. So we got 70 and 30 here. And I submitted 5 of each to CGC and had them all triple signed. They all came back, signature series. And we only got 5 of each. And so far we sold 1 of the black, white, and reds, and we got 2 of the full colors sold. The black, white, and red is going for more because it's even more limited. And we sold out of all the raw copies. The raw copies are gone. So I only had like 3 of the raw copies left. The rest are with Frank in Israel. And you want to get that triple signed, you got to wait until Frank decides to, travel from Tel Aviv back to the States to get your book signed. So that's a really rare product.
You have 1 left of the color variant.
What's that?
You have 1 left on the color variant.
Oh, I have 1 left on the cover variant. Well, there you go. We're getting close on that. So our CGCs are just going nuts.
May or may not have been me, but
you're the man, dude. I love you, buddy. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate you.
That sounds like Jordan.
No, Jordan, you're the man. Thank you so much.
Yep.
One thing I want to point out too is anybody who backs Warlion along with Aaron Roblowski's Blood and Fire, which if you're a fan of Eastern Shin, you like samurai stories, you need to read this book. I am a huge fan of it. I backed the campaign just so I could get my copies at the physical level. And his artist did this real cool team up of Warlion and the main character of Blood and Fire kicking ass. And anybody who pledges on a physical level for both campaigns gets an 8x10 print along with their package. So I think that's really awesome.
It's amazing. You really are going all out to make sure people get this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I really want people to be excited about it. And we just had I was really inspired by Ted Sikora and how he did his last campaign for Punchline. And I wanted to have like a cool little graphic giving all the artists and contributors little bios. Stan Yak, it was really hard to get a picture of Stan in his face, but he's got plenty of pictures of his cat, so I decided after that.
That's enough for us. Come on, look at the cute kitty. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you really went all out. I can tell that you painstakingly did all this. Make sure to get up. There you go, 100.
Yeah, we're there, man. Thank you very much. And not only are we there, like we're almost 50% funded now.
Yeah. So
I think and I gotta thank you, man. Like that, I really appreciate you having me on your show. This always helps me out so much. So we're 47% funded, and we are exactly $198 away from being 50% funded. So that means we need just like one or two people to come in and grab one of those CGCs, or pick up some original art. The original art is really great. You're getting Dexter Wee is going to ship this to me from the Philippines, and it is the first issue cover, and then we got the first page 1. We have page 2 and page 10. And these are all key appearances of characters in the story. So it's a little pricey, I get it. But if you know anything about how I've been brand building over the years, you're going to know that this is those pages are going to be worth something.
Yeah,
in the next few years, and they're going to be worth way more than $500.
Mm-hmm.
Especially by how you've been doing things and how you're going. Yeah, definitely. You can already tell that your value price is going up. So.
Yeah, we've had no problems moving those exclusives.
Exactly.
Especially the Frank Guzan ones. I mean, like those have been really well received.
So we may not see Criss today because I know he had an issue earlier today, and I haven't heard from him. And from the last post I see, he still hasn't been able to get back into his house.
Oh man, that sucks. I actually saw something, but I didn't see what's going on.
Yeah,
and that's unfortunate.
It looked like some kind of thing happened to the house, and everybody got taken out of the house so they can fix it.
Man.
Yeah, it's on his site. I'll leave it there. We'll talk to Criss again and see what happened. And but right now it doesn't look like he's showing up.
Oh man, that sucks. I see the picture. I mean, he does look upset. Well, he kind of looks like the Tasmanian devil.
Criss, yeah. He always Criss Mad looks like his name, Criss Mad.
Yeah. No, he's never actually mad. That's
what's fun. But I think he's mad, not mad.
Yeah. He's like Max Madsen, if you guys know, yeah.
And we all got to be a little bit mad in order to do what we do.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that, Raph, 100%.
No, nobody in their right mind would do comics.
Yeah, I agree with 100%. That is totally true, for sure.
Mick Hughes is saying hi. He has his Corrupt Moon going on right now. I think they actually funded finally. But so. Of course, the Kickstarters work that way, where funding doesn't mean as much as you think it does. So keep supporting.
Oh wait, he sent me a message on Sunday. 71 hours.
Yeah, he's really close. I think they are at.
He told me only 28% funded.
Well, now he's funded.
Oh, okay. Well, that's quick from Sunday.
Yeah, he's a funded 24 backers. He's at 6,109. 24 backers, 47 hours to go. So you guys want to help him out? Go help him out, because that just means that he can take care of things. That doesn't mean of course, as you know, Onrie, nobody makes money off of Kickstarters. That's why we need to get you funded and then try to get you double the money.
Yes, absolutely. No, you're 100% right. I will not take a dime from this Kickstarter. Mm-mm. It is all going back to the business so that I can keep things going. Where I'm going to make my money is from selling those books. So we printed up 5,000 copies of Warlion. That's where I'm making my money. Right. By taking that book to conventions and selling it there. So you're 100% right.
And it's amazing we talk about it here a lot. It's amazing how you guys can actually get to these conventions, and you do make more money taking it to the conventions, because people like talking to the creator, they like getting to know what they're going to get. And usually when you see it at a convention, it's a totally different feeling than when you see it in a comic store.
Absolutely. Well, there's a market for everything, right?
Exactly.
So, there are people who only like buying their comics at conventions. There are people who only like buying their comics in comic shops. There are people who only like buying their comics on Kickstarter. So we want to cater to everyone, and we want to really build a collector buzz with Warline. I think this is a perfect title that we can do that with. We can take those kinds of liberties, and it's not a book with huge sex appeal in the sense that we're not selling boobs in this book, though I wish we were. In fact, I will say this: we were originally planning to have this book open up with a sex scene, and Ted, I actually have the page. It's a really brilliant page. I was really happy with the way it turned out, and that was one of those cases where I had to kill my babies, because I don't think that starting the book off with the sex scene would have given it the right impact. And if we decide to use that page, which I don't think we will, it just really doesn't get the feel. I feel like it secludes our audience, because people who are into books like that are going to be disappointed that there's like only one sex scene, and the people who aren't into that stuff are going to be offended.
Why is there a sex scene?
Yeah. Why is there a sex scene? Yeah. So we decided to stick to the good old fashioned violence. It's very 90s, like in the sense like a 90s action flick.
Right.
And where it was more about the action, and you would have like a boob here and there, and the shadow of a wiener, but that's it.
But I think you have something with these characters, because they really stand out. The whole reason it's funny, because I didn't even know this was coming. I ran into it online, and I was like, Onrie didn't tell me about this. And I was like, I gotta get him on the show. Look at this.
I appreciate you, Raph. You're the man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, because as soon as I saw it, and then I saw the martial arts, and I'm like, oh my god, this is right up the alley. Come on.
Well, that's the thing about Warline, is I really wanted it to be something that spoke to fans of Yisun Shin. Like, if you like Yisun Shin, this is something you can appreciate as well. So it definitely speaks to our fan base with Yisun Shin for sure.
And it does. It reminds me of the classic, martial arts, kung fu type comic books. They barely make anymore.
Yeah. Well, really, my big inspiration for it was Wesley Snipes' Blade, but he's older. He's an old man. So that's the whole idea. I want you to come into it thinking like, this is an old Wesley Snipes. This is like his swan song. And he really is the person that I'd love to see play the role of Warline, and if there ever was a movie. And right now, that's really not my focus. I really just want to make sure I'm not really doing any film stuff at all. And the same is true of Yisun Shin. I think it's really important to focus on the comic first. Oh man, he's busting out his Yisun Shin books.
Yep.
I love you, buddy. He's got the singles and the trades. My man.
Yeah, remember I bought them all from you at once.
Yes, you did. You're the man.
The first show I ever watched of yours, and I'm like, all right.
He jumped in with both feet. I appreciate that so much.
Yep, my fiance has the first volume as singles at her house right now because I let her borrow them, and she said she really liked it too. So.
Oh, that's awesome! Thank you so much, Jordan. That means a lot.
Get the word out there, yeah. Get it out to people's hands. Come on. I've had a couple people pick up your books. I'm like, dude, if you see Onrie, just pick up his book. You won't regret it, man. I'm telling you.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And also, thank you so much for helping me get to the backers. I'm so pleased with that. And we're so close now. I'll be honest with you, Rap. I woke up this morning and I was not in the best state of mind. Like, I was just kind of feeling a little depressed and just tired for creative reasons, personal, whatever you want to call it. And sometimes I just think to myself, am I doing enough? What more can I do?
Yeah, I feel
I just knew I was like, I know I'm going to be on this show. I know things are going to go great. I'm just going to be patient. And you know what? It paid off. So for any of you guys out there who are making comics and you're having a tough day, you're not alone. And just keep faith in yourself. Keep doing what you're always doing, and eventually it'll work out.
Yeah, you gotta keep plugging along, keep making it work, and if you fall, just get back up and keep working it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because especially with the game that is Kickstarter, because there's times where you're gonna get knocked down, and we've seen a couple of friends not be able to fund their books, and it's always really sad. But what I love to see is that they don't stop; they just bring it back up. And most of the times they'll get it funded.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it takes a little more work, but you can't be scared of work.
Yeah. And I have to say I've been very fortunate in the sense that I have not had a Kickstarter not fund.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always your goal, and there's what your real goal is.
Exactly.
And
I'm happy you said that.
You want to make more money doing this. At this point, I don't know where we're going to get before Lion. I hope we can go beyond our goal. I'm hoping for similar results that we had with Yisun Shin, so that I can take care of that fulfillment quicker. But again, what I'm really looking for is the backer count. If I can get a higher backer count on Warline than I had on Yisun Shin, that shows me that's something that's telling me, hey, we're on to something here.
And
so
folks, remember, this is really important. Sometimes I know you guys, especially with the way things are in the economy right now, I know you can't afford to probably put the whole thing down. But if you even donate $1, that backer count, it works for it, because every dollar you're donating is another addition to the backer count. And I can't tell you enough how much the backer count actually helps these projects. It's the same thing like when we tell you guys all the time that if you see a project and these that's having people to sign on to get notified, as many people as can sign on to get notified, that actually helps out the project, especially when it kicks off. Because if you have a lot of people who have shown interest in a project, it kind of like puts it in a whole different place.
Absolutely.
That's why we like to say that. There's other things you can do. And of course, the big one, sharing. If you can't afford it right now, share. Because sometimes you may not be able to afford it, but maybe that person you share it to or somebody who sees it from your share would be able to do it. And believe me, advertisement takes a lot. And if you're helping the creator with that, that's a lot of help.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I like repeating it over and over, Onrie. I figure
we all need to hear it.
They'll be like, "Oh,
it's true." And every single backer counts to me and matters. And I want more people. I want more physical people. So even if you're just putting $1 in, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because next time you might be able to do more.
Yep. And the digital version sometimes costs cheaper. I know a lot of people like the physical version, but if you're okay with digital, sometimes buying the digital works, and it's usually cheaper.
Absolutely.
I know, like we here like to sell the physical because we are physical people. That's why we go to conventions and buy physical books, or go to the comic store and buy physical books. But I know there's some of you out there that don't do the physical anymore.
Well, it's a lot of stuff you have to store, and
definitely.
I totally understand.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
I'm looking around my entire room.
Well, I'm building up my collection because from what I resell, it's just like stuff it's not really like part of my personal collection. So I'm rebuilding my personal collection, and I'm buying all kinds of weird stuff, like stuff that's nostalgic to me, and stuff that I just like.
You mean like this?
Yeah, oh man, that's awesome. By the way, he got totally raw dogged in the movie in Spider-Verse. It was a good raw dogging, but he got raw.
Yeah.
I know. I'm happy you mentioned that, because you have the show where you sell your stuff, and I've done it before when I was younger, where I would buy stuff to sell. It's a whole different thing though, because I feel like sometimes some people buy what they would want to buy instead of what they should get to sell. How do you do it?
How do I'm sorry, can you phrase that
Well,
question?
the whole question is like, there's a difference between collecting and buying to sell.
Yeah.
And you do a good job at buying to sell. So,
Yeah.
what is the difference, and how can people do it if they want to do it?
Okay, yeah. I say at first get a variety of every goddamn thing you can think of. So like I'll tell you, there's a bunch of books I'm not into boob books. Like if I want to look at a pair of boobs, I go to Pornhub.com and they see like a pair of boobs. But there are people out there who like that. And as a dealer, my job is not to get in the way of that, of that transaction, helping you find what you're looking for.
Right.
So that's just an example. But like again, here's another example. I'm not a big Wonder Woman. I don't read Wonder Woman comics, but Wonder Woman comics sell really well for me. Like I can't hold on to Wonder Woman.
Wow.
So you got to do a couple shows. You gotta fall flat on your face and start selling the stuff that you want to sell. So like my very first show, I actually just busted out a bunch of independent stuff and was selling independent books, and that worked really well for me. But then from there, I was like, all right, I need a bunch of cheaper stuff that I can sell. So I started jumping into to dollar bins and 50-cent bins and things like that. And you just try and pick out a bunch of random stuff. And don't think that I don't buy for myself when I'm going through that stuff. If I come across,
you have to, man, dude, just diving into any dollar bin. It amazes me what you can find in a dollar bin.
Yeah, you know what I found in a dollar bin? The biggest find for me was the first appearance of Silk, a 1-20 ratio variant. That's like $200. I bought it for $1.
You got to be kidding.
I'm not kidding. Yeah, I got it listed on eBay right now. It was like, it's been sitting there for a while, but I know it'll sell eventually. But that was a dollar buy. I think I got the first appearance of Venom Pool too. It's a $50 book.
Wow.
Got it for $1. It happens.
Do you think it's because like it's a hard job being somebody who sells comics, especially to get the prices for the comics that you should get? I feel like a lot of people decide, well, I'm just going to sell it for this because then I'll make some money, even if I don't make the money that the book is for. But because it's hard work.
Well, when you think about being a retailer, and I got a really good experience of this when I went out to Houston for Comic Palooza, I will tell you right now, straight up, I will never own a comic shop. I have absolutely no desire. I don't care how much staff I have. Fuck that. No. Never, ever. It is so much goddamn work. And it's such a thankless job. But that's how here's what happens. You end up with so much stuff because people are always selling the collections.
Yeah.
And you always got to be buying because that's what's keeping you in business.
Yep.
But now you got to have a place to sell that.
Yeah.
And you don't want to sell off your cheap stuff. And it's impossible to go through everything and know what you got.
Exactly. Especially if you're buying huge collections.
Yeah. I mean, don't think I haven't gotten stung too. There are times when I got stung with a book that was worth like $40 that I sold for $3. I think it was like the first appearance of Punisher's War Machine.
Ooh.
It was like a $40 book. I sold it for $3.
Wow.
Really got ripped off. But I didn't know the value of the book, and that's what happens. Think about how much that happens when you're a retailer and you got tons of books coming in all the every week. Yeah. Even my local comic shop, he doesn't have enough space in his actual storefront to store all the stuff that he has. You go back to his warehouse room, he's got at least 100 or 200 long boxes back there.
Wow.
Really awesome shit. He doesn't have the space to to put it up there.
Dude, my collection is my collection. And that alone, I can tell that I would need 3 or 4 people helping me out to figure out how to sell it, or to at least get a good price from somebody who wants to buy the collection. Because, you don't want to get gypped. No, and I know that I would need 4 or 5 people to at least, that's just organizing everything and figuring out what I have.
Absolutely.
So I don't even want to know what a comic store would need to organize all that stuff that they keep buying because they buy in bulk. That's how they, that's the deal now. Because anytime I talk to somebody, they go, well, we'll buy the whole thing for such price. And I'm like, I can make more money selling it myself, but it's a lot of work.
It absolutely is. It is. It's so much work. But, there are people who are very good at it.
Yeah.
And people who, have a desire to do it. And I give those people massive credit.
Yeah.
So for anybody who owns a comic shop, I commend you, and I have the greatest amount of respect for what you're doing, because
I completely agree. Yeah,
freaking hard.
Completely agree. And we love our comic stores. We love our local comic stores. They do, and it's not easy job owning a comic store, because nowadays you're not just a comic store. You're a community center.
Yes,
you're much more. You can't just be a comic store.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a village, and that's what I realized from checking out Gen Shop Space Cadets in Arlington, Texas. It's a really great shop. She's got so much stuff out there, but she, for better or worse, is a slave to the shop.
Yeah,
it lives and dies through her, and she has built a community. And she has a very loyal crew working for her. And that is even more hard. It's like finding those people who you can trust to run your shop. Oh, man, that is so freaking hard. And to know that, and to be patient with them, because they're not going to be I'm not referring specifically to Jen's people there. They are some of the hardest working people I've ever seen. I'm speaking based on my own experience. Finding people who are equally as passionate about your business as you is very, very difficult. It's damn near impossible.
It is.
Even if you're paying them top dollar, there's still, it's not always a money.
Well, that's the other thing, because sometimes, somebody may like comics, but they just like comics. And when it comes to comic book shops, sometimes you have to be go an extra mile. You can't just like comics. you have to be passionate for it. Yeah, I completely agree.
I think at this point where Jen has been, and I certainly don't want to speak for her, I'm just going based off of what I've realized about her, and what I've realized about a lot of other comic shops too is, and after a certain point, there's just so much stuff that you walk into your shop and you're like, you're in a void now. You're in a void of infinite stuff. Yep. And when I walk into the shop as a creator, I'm not even thinking. I'm thinking to myself man, this is all so much bigger than me. If I was a comic book shop owner, I wouldn't be able to care about that one creator. And to even have the time to actually sit down and read books, which is what she's been doing for such a long time on her show Minute to Skim It. She reads every new comic that comes out, reviews it, and then sells it right away. That's a tough job. Sitting down and actually reading comics, it's a tough job, especially when you're distracted by your phone. Yeah. It's on TV,
And they get harder and harder now.
Yeah, it is. It's a commitment, and I try and force myself. I know Travis Gibb, another creator I really respect a lot. He actually sits down and he reads 4 comics a day. That is fucking discipline. I wish
that sounds hard and amazing.
Yeah, I try and read at least 1 a day, and to really be invested in it too. Like right now, I'm reading the Spider-Man 2099 Dark Genesis, which is I'm on the 3rd issue of that, and it's basically like Maximum Carnage 2099, and it's a lot of it's fun, but you have to be invested in order to really know what's going on. You can't just read that book, And
like you're saying, something could just pull you out like this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I get pulled out all the time. I have severe ADD. I think we all do.
Yeah, I do. Again, it's another issue with us creative types. For some reason, a lot of us tend to have the ADD.
Yes,
because I know I'm constantly doing 10 things at the same time, whether I want to or not.
Exactly.
Sometimes I don't want to. I'd rather just do one thing and do it well.
Yes, I agree, and that's really what it came down for me as well. Like going back to the whole thing of being a professional writer, I realized pretty quickly I don't want to be a professional writer, because if you want to be a professional writer, you got to be writing 7 titles a month. Yeah, consistently.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
Cranking it out.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Who would want to do that? It takes a certain type of skill set, which a lot of people do not have. Do you really want to sit behind a table all day writing scripts and banging your head against the keyboard? Some people do, and God bless you, because we need people who can. That's why those people stand out the way they do, like the Brian Michael Bendis and the Scott Snyder's, because They know how to sit down in front of a keyboard and crank it out and do the best story that they're capable of telling. Are they all great? No, they're not all great, but they do the best that they can. And I think it's not easy work.
I give people credit just for that, because sometimes cranking it out is much harder work than anything else. Whether it's good or not.
Yeah, I agree.
Believe me, like I decided a while ago that I'm better off at continuing to do my written shorts than I am at trying to accomplish any of these bigger ones. Even though I am working on a couple of those, but I find that I always end up working more on the shorts than I do on any of the long-term projects. So I completely get you.
Yeah, no, for sure. But again, it's like that's not the only way to make a living in comics. It's not the only way to be successful in comics. There's so many different ways. And again, that's what I've learned how to do. I've learned how to balance it as a reseller and a publisher, and as a Kickstarter guy, I guess. Which I mean, when you put all these things together, you make it work.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do. Again, we'll go back to what we were saying before. Just keep working through it. You got to keep going. You got to have that passion. You have to have that go to keep going.
Absolutely.
And that's what I like about you is like you have that. When we see you at the conventions, it's like go, 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 go. You go so much that sometimes you go, don't go to the bathroom.
No, I definitely go to the bathroom, especially now. I drink a gallon of water every day, so I drink.
All right, good, because
and I'll tell you guys straight up, I go to the bathroom, I take breaks, I sit down, I eat lunch. You have to take care of yourself. I was just talking with Jen about this earlier. You need to take care of yourself. You need to give yourself a day off, and not do anything. There's no purpose to overworking yourself and burning yourself out, because then you're not going to do good work. And you're going to do shit. And who wants that?
You're just going to burn yourself out and not be able to do what you love to do.
Yeah, the whole, and that speaks to the whole thing of that hashtag of comics broke me. Take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Especially if you're not feeling right. We're all dealing with a lot, and I'll tell you right now, the place where I have the most anxiety is on a convention floor. I have the anxiety of the fact that I just spent a lot of money to get to this show, that I need to sell through what I brought with me. Otherwise, I have to lug it back, and that's going to cost me extra money, which I could be using to pay myself, because conventions are where I make my money. When I get on a floor, I'm thinking about every hour of that floor, of being on that floor, as being as maximizing the potential for making as many sales as possible.
Right. So
if it doesn't work out, then that hurts. So I do have a lot of anxiety, and it's not an easy thing to combat. But it's a very normal thing, and you're not alone experiencing it as a comic creator, and it's important to persevere.
It's totally important, and conventions, as much fun as they are, sometimes they are a little overwhelming, as we all know. And that's why, like, you got to be careful when you are at them. Take your breaks, relax, go outside, enjoy the cosplay, because if you stay in that too long, it's gonna drive you crazy.
Absolutely. I'll tell you right now, a great story. C2E2. I got really burned out by the third day. It was my third convention in a row. I did Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City, followed by Cleveland, Fan Expo Cleveland, and then I was back in Chicago for C2E2, 3 shows in a week. And I got really burned out on the last day of the show. So Chuck said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go walk and buy some comics. We're going to get back on the floor. And I was like, all right, cool. And I had a shitty day on the floor, by the way. C2E2 did not end the way I wanted it to end. I had a lot of rejections, and I was just burned out. I didn't have a good day on the sales floor.
That's never good, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I realized, I'm like, all right, I just did 3 back-to-back shows. I did really well at C2E2. I probably made more money that year than I had any other year, but I didn't sell out of everything. Certainly didn't sell out of Eastern Shin, but who cares? Sometimes it happens. And the best part about C2E2, it's a local show. So if I don't sell out, I'll just pack it up and go home with it. It's really shows like where I have to fly, like Emerald City or Phoenix Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con.
That's more stress, yeah.
Those are the stressful shows. New York, those shows where like if I don't sell everything, it's got to be shipped back because I didn't drive out here. I flew out here. So those are the cases where it's tough and I'm on the clock. And I want to get home sooner. I have 2 kids. I have a life outside of comics too. I want to get home and I want to be able to let loose and get into my fat pajamas and eat tacos and cry in a corner.
I think people forget that too. They look at the industry as, okay, that's what they do. This isn't our life.
Right. I mean, we definitely unwind by watching movies and doing all that stuff too. But sometimes it's just like, and here's the thing: I was married for 12 years, and my ex never saw what I did as a job. She always said that like you get to do what you love for a living. Well, just because I do what I love for a living doesn't mean it's not work.
That's true.
Work. It's a job through and through. Like
sometimes it's more work.
Yeah, it's more work, and I'm stuck with it all the time. There's the only way I could get away from it is to not be reading comics. It's like through exercise or going for a walk. Like that's the way I get away from it. But every time I step into a movie theater or sit back home and get on a computer or whatever, I'm working. Like your brain is always working. You're always writing in your head. That's how we do things.
Exactly. That's how we live. All right, so let's get back to Warline since we're closing in on the hour here. So Onrie, tell them where they can find you and all the stuff that you need to tell them there, and I'll put up the Warline Kickstarter one more time. Go ahead, Onrie.
So the best place to find me right now is through this campaign. Just go to Kickstarter, type in Warline, back this campaign. We're at 100 backers. We're nearly 50% of the way there. We're a week into our campaign. I really want to see this funded. I really want you to be a part of this process. And I promise you that you're going to get your stuff in record time. There's not going to be a lot of wait time on this. We already got books coming here. I already put the money down. I took the risk on this because I believe in this book so much. And I really want you along for the ride. So you can find me through that. If you want to stay connected to me, which is what I would really love, is for our relationship to continue, you can find me on Facebook. Just type in my name, Onrie Kompan. Friend me on Facebook. I'll friend you back. You go on Instagram. My name on there is @okompan. So that's just my first initial, first letter of my first name, and then my last name. Follow me on Instagram. I will follow you back. And that's the best way to stay in touch with me. I do live sales shows on the Comic Book Shopping Network, which is a closed-off vetted group of buyers. I'm on the air every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Central, and 1 p.m. Eastern. And then I do a show every Wednesday on The Experience at 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to probably work in another slot for my personal channel at some point. But if you're looking for comics, I'm your guy. I'll help you find whatever you're looking for. I go to comic shops. I ransack places all the time. I go to cons. I'm around comics day and night. I can help you find what you're looking for.
That makes that second part of your job easier.
Yes, absolutely.
Because one of the things when you're doing that is to be around it so you can find it, and when you're around it and you find it, you find some great deals and you find some great finds.
Absolutely, that's the best part about it. And and you can't make comics unless you're reading, unless you're buying comics. So that's a really important aspect of everything I'm doing too. Is I'm always buying, always selling.
Of course, our pal Criss is not here, but I will show off his Instagram so you guys can go check it out. Criss does amazing work.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to mention too. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, go for it.
If anybody's interested in backing the Warline campaign and getting Criss's cover on there, you can just back at the variant, at the one variant. At the time of the we send out the surveys for this. You can pick out the cover that you want, and I'll give you that option. There'll be plenty of copies of it out there.
Speaking of the devil. Yeah, Criss is amazing. He does great work, as you can tell from here. dude, he's just a great artist. Support him. Oh my god, look at that. Mm. Yeah, get yourself some Criss Mad stuff. Make sure you pick up the Criss Mad variant from Warline, because you know you want to do it. You know, it's such a great book. And of course, when we have Criss on to talk about it, he'll tell you himself.
My man.
All right, come on, computer. Don't. Okay, I just need a little more time, computer. Don't die yet. All right, guys, what do we got?
Chat.
Yeah, I saw the private chat. Which one you want first?
We'll start with the first one because
Drumsticks.
Onrie here knows.
Oh, I know this. This is a great comic. I absolutely love this.
Yep, one of your favorite people's on it.
Yes, he is actually one of my favorite people. I love him.
Yep.
You're gonna leave us in suspense?
No,
Oh, yeah.
the computer's acting up. There we go.
Yeah, John Westhoff's awesome. He's also working with Dan Doherty, I believe, on this. And
Yep.
It's a great read. I picked this up at Northwest Indiana Comic-Con. Great book.
And as I just finished telling you, hit that notify button because it really helps out.
Yep.
You were gonna say, Jordan?
Oh, I was just saying, yep.
Oh, it looks good. Do yourself a favor, help the project. Let's see if it'll let me do it automatically, because it always wants me to sign in. Yay! There you go, and it's notified.
Yep.
What's next? The next one?
Yep.
Horus in Hell. How can I forget about Horus in Hell?
Mm-hmm.
I love that bunny.
Me too.
All right, Horus.
What is it?
Hmm?
What is it?
Go ahead, Jordan.
It's a pink bunny connected to the Pocus Hocus books, and that's all you gotta know.
It's a kick-ass bunny.
Actually, it looks really cool. I saw this earlier today. I just followed it right now as well. I actually followed all three of these.
Yeah.
This looks, what a great pitch, right?
Oh my god!
Demented Saturday morning cartoon.
Exactly, that's what it is.
Yep.
And Pocus Hocus is such a great book, and we love the bunny from Pocus Hocus, and that's why the bunny is here doing his thing, because he's cute and kick-ass.
Yes.
So go get notified. You thought I was already out.
Nope.
It's good, because I thought I missed it from it. It looks like all you guys are hit to notified today.
Yep.
I
Good
hate
old-
you, please die. There you
Good
go.
old Garrett.
Of course it was Garrett. It looks like Garrett.
Yep.
What's this one about?
So from what I know, I guess it was like somewhat of a personal story of his from his past, of his high school life, turned into a comic. I
That's
think.
always a good way to go. I think that's what a lot of us comic book writers do. It's like, I have a story, so if I change it into superheroes, I can tell my story, and nobody will ever know.
and his action figure Kickstarter is still going on too.
For Good Boy.
Yep.
That action figure looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is a visionary. He is his ass off on so much stuff. And
Yeah.
This entire story, the I Hate You, Please Die, that sounds like something that you wanna check out, because writers should always write. You write from what you know, like what you were saying, Raph, and this actually has my interest peaked for sure.
And folks, I want you guys to remember that writing what you know means two different things. It means that you write what you know, which is what you personally have experienced or what you know. And at the same time, as writers, we research. So what we research, we know. So, it's not just about what you know personally, but it's what you can research and find out and learn, because that's what we do, people. So don't limit yourself, because you think that's the whole thing means write what you know, as in what you know. It also means research, people. Can't say that enough. We were talking about Corrupt Moon. Let me put it up. Corrupt Moon is, there we go. They're at 6,139, 25 backers, 47 hours to go. Come out, folks. You guys gotta help them out here. Get them a little bit higher. Get them to a comfort zone. Because as we've seen recently, sometimes this doesn't help you because somebody can just drop out. And we've been seeing a lot of that happen. And folks, it's not a nice thing to know you're funded, and then somebody drops out at the last minute and takes their funding with you. Of course, at the same time, we have Rob Hoppers with Cataclysm. You know, if you loved Pinguino's Revenge, you will love Cataclysm. It's a fantastic book. Rob does a fantastic job with his books. He's at 4,348. He needs to get to 6,000, and he has 47 hours to go. We got 2 days, folks. Come on, we can get him to 6,000. That's an easy go. Come on. And I'm telling you, you won't regret this. I love my Pinguino's Revenge. He does a great job with that, and he's just an amazing artist and storyteller. I think that's everything. Oh, don't forget, Phil Russard's Tragedy is still on Kickstarter as well. He's already funded, but he's looking to get a little more insurance, because that's what we all try to do. Get some insurance on these Kickstarters so that it will go to somewhere. And of course, like I said, nobody's making money off of Kickstarter. They're all putting the money right back into the books to give you more books.
Yep. Also,
okay.
Since Onrie brought it up earlier, the rarest, or you were talking about finding really like expensive stuff in shops and stuff. I just had that happen recently.
Ooh.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. There's that one.
Yes, Comics put that out there.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Dude, this just reminds me of the 90s.
I got all this for 10. I got it all for $10.
Wow. That's a find.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff is hard to find.
Well, especially that logo in the corner, the wizard stuff.
Oh yeah, because it's probably it probably came straight from the Wizard magazine for free. I probably have that one somewhere around here.
Yeah, because in the back it advertises Wizard World Chicago of '99.
Woo! Time flies. Yeah, I probably have that here somewhere.
and then is Chaos Comics still around or no?
No, it's now Coffin Comics. So
okay, so it's Coffin. All right.
Yeah. He sold off some of the characters to Dynamite, so they like what is
Red
it?
Red Sonja, isn't it?
No, not Red Sonja. Red Sonja is that was different. I think that was Robert Howard. If I'm not
he hasn't sold off Evil Ernie, right?
Evil Ernie. He
did sell it off.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't seen it in a while. Okay. I was wondering because he's still doing Lady Death, but I haven't seen Evil Ernie.
I think Bad Kitty too.
Okay. All right, Mr. Nat, what do you got?
There's a screen share that's been there for a bit now.
A screen share where?
What?
Down there.
So if you enjoy cool cards, amazing lore, and an immersive world with a wonderful community behind it, let me introduce you to Fables Saga TCG, a great trading card game with lots of really cool art, a lot of amazing back and stretch goals that have been unlocked. We know one of the artists. You can go check out that video on our YouTube channel. But also this past weekend, I was also within one of the tournaments. And let me tell you, the gameplay is a lot of fun and it snowballs out of control very fast. So if you like some high-paced card games and just getting immersed in a world with a great community, check out Fables Saga.
Or if you're like me and you buy the games for the cards and the art, then you can do that too.
Yes.
Fable looks fantastic. We know some of the artists. The art looks beautiful, man. Amazing. Nat, what did you think of you had the cards in front of you in your hand? What did you think?
It snowballs out of control very fast.
So does the art look better when you're actually using it?
For the completed art sets, yes.
Oh, so you didn't have the completed art?
not all the cards have their finalized art. Some of them are still in scout phases.
Well, there you have, folks. Go get supported. Already, some of this stuff is selling for hotcakes, so you better jump in on this quick.
Oh yeah.
As you know how the market for these cards are, as you can see right there. I'll show it off a little bit. Beautiful. There you go, folks. Fabled. Matt's played the game. He loved it. And now, I think that's everything. We enjoyed Brooklyn Comic Con this weekend, as well as 5 Point. If you want, go check out the Instagram. You can see a lot of stuff that we put up there. You can see my trailers for both events. And I still have to put out at least 2 or 3 more if it works out. We'll see what happens. I think I got enough material for 3 or 4 more. We'll see.
Well, what about Wednesday's show?
Wednesday, I think Wednesday we will have Kike from Inking with Kike. He's going to show off his new Kickstarter to show you guys what he's been up to. So join us on Wednesday with Kike and the rest of the written idiots.
Speak for yourself. No.
As we hang out. I know I'm an idiot, so.
You know what? Just for that, I'm not showing up.
I'm one of the first ones to admit to it.
You have Gage now. You don't need us.
Exactly.
Yeah, Gage might be there on Wednesday. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. We'll see what happens. Onrie, thank you for being on the show, and of course on this show when we ended.
Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys all fucking rock. Thank you for having me on your show.
Dude, Onrie, you can show up anytime. I loved all the geek talk we did. And I feel like we can probably cover a bunch more stuff. So come back.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Anytime, Onrie. Anytime you want to come on, whether it's business or pleasure, you're more than welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So on this show, of course, it's the total opposite because all I can do is this.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you guys are still here. What are you waiting for? Go.
We always are.
Enjoy your night.
No, I need to do my Bella Bog event.